Hi, how are you? I'm Manny Ventura, and I'm super excited to introduce September's Craniofacial Acceptance Month. And for me, this month is so special, and the theme of I accept me with the facial difference is so important to me because I was born with a facial difference. I was born with a cleft, and I needed about 3 surgeries as a baby to repair my palate. And then later on in life, at the age of 14, I needed bone graft surgery, where doctors took a piece of my hip bone out and inserted in my palate to help me with my smile. And so, for me, this theme of I accept me is super important, because throughout life, I can remember, being called names. Crooked nose, crooked lip, banana split, all throughout, elementary and middle school. And I had to navigate how I would be able to, take these words and maybe use them as fuel to go after the things I want in life. But let's face it, in elementary and in middle school, when you're 10 and 13 years old, these kind of words can hurt. And sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I've heard that before, but I know words do hurt. And I can tell you because I've been through personal experiences where these words hurt. But over the years, I've learned to accept myself. I've learned to be happy with how I was born and be excited to give to the world a new fresh perspective on what it means to be born with a facial difference. You see, growing up, you may feel unlucky or unfavorable because you look around and all the kids around you look just a little bit different than you. Their faces may be much more perfect than yours, even and everything. But when you looked in your mirror, maybe you saw some of the things that I saw. My nose, a little uneven. My lips, a little uneven. Or even when I open my mouth in the mirror, I can see scars that were stitched together to help me eat and breathe better when I was just a baby. You know what's so interesting? Is I visited my mother just this past weekend, and we were at a baby shower, and my mom got closer to me and she said, Manny, yo me recuerdo cuando naciste con labio leporino. I remember when you were born with the cleft. She said to me, those first 3 years, I would say it was one of the toughest years of my life. Yo no sabía cómo darte la comida. I didn't know how to give you the food. I would give you from the special bottle that the doctors gave me to give you. I would give it to you and the milk would go from one end to the other. And she explained to me that she felt helpless and she didn't know really how to, make it all better. And my dad wasn't really around, so she was a single mother. She didn't speak much English, and she had to care for her baby that was born with the cleft. And at this point, I didn't have the surgeries yet. She told me I only had like a plastic incision that was holding everything together. And I can only imagine the hardships and the tragedies that my mother and all other mothers that have a child born with a cleft and what they have to go through. I never imagined this. And I told Mom, I said, Mom, I'm 29 years old. Why would you tell me this now? She said, well, sometimes when things are so difficult, you hold them in for so long. And here we are at a baby shower, so I thought it was a great time to tell you. But these are little tidbits that I get along the way in life of how, it was to be born with the cleft. I only know it from my experiences and what I had to go through as a kid. But just speaking with my mom this past weekend, I got a glimpse of what it is for a parent to go over to help their kids born with the cleft. It wasn't after the surgeries that I was able to eat better. And she complained, my mom, you didn't let me go to sleep for the first 8 months because I didn't know, I would feed you, but it would never actually fill you up. So imagine not being able to sleep for 8 months because your kid just keeps crying and crying and you don't know how to feed them. That's tough. And that's just the beginning. That's just the first 3 years of growing up with the cleft. And then the next years after that, in middle school, elementary school, and even high school, looking, to try to get your first kiss. It could be a little difficult. But I share these stories because it's so personal to me. And there are many, many of us that were born with a facial difference. And maybe we never really loved ourselves or gave ourselves the opportunity to say, yes, I am born with a facial difference and I do love myself and I accept me. I accept everything about me. And it's so beautiful to be in this space to say, yes, I love being who I am. I accept me for having a facial difference. And I want to share with you all my stories and how it's actually a great thing to be born with a facial difference. I feel like it gives me an extra power, an extra light, an extra vision that I can just keep going and never give up. And hopefully be an inspiration to many others that were born with a facial difference. I'm Manny Ventura. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my story. And I want to celebrate with you Craniofacial Acceptance Month and in this week's theme of I Accept Me. Thank you so much.